It says Mark 4:22. For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested, neither was there anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Aruhaqadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Shalom to the sincere brethren out there pushing this word, and to you sincere listeners. So I just want to read this again. This is Mark 4:22. It says, for there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested. Yeah, everything that's hidden eventually is going to come to the light. It says, for there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested, neither was there anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. And that's what you see happening. Okay. Our hidden history, is coming out, man. Especially with it being, so-called Black History Month, our people are, beginning to dive in these things. But, the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai has gone out through the four corners of the earth, and our people are beginning to, look into their history, the hidden history, that Esau Edom has covered up. And just as the scripture said, there is nothing that has been kept secret, except it come abroad. Okay, because everything is going to be exposed. All right. Now, what I want to do here is highlight, this post here, which this is from flyhype.com. They post various videos on here. It's somewhat like a world star hip hop, but this video here is highlighting Saint Maurice, which the reason why, this individual was in Europe to begin with is because so-called Negroes ruled Europe for 1,000 years, which this is hidden history, that Esau Edom has tried to wipe away from the history books. But as we read in the scriptures, okay, it says, for there is nothing hid which shall not be manifest. So everything that this damn devil tried to hide eventually is going to come out. You can only keep the truth hidden for so long. It says, neither was there anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. And everything that he's tried to hide is eventually going to come out. And, this truth, okay, the truth of us ruling Europe, was first pushed out by the Israelites. And now you got these other individuals, exposing it as well. Okay, and this history, was written in the scriptures, man. So let me just read this real quick. This is the post here. And so as you can see, it reads Black History Month, a Black Catholic saint of Europe revealed. And, the original Catholics, the people that established the Roman Catholic Church, were Negroes, so-called Negroes, to begin with. Okay, so this, Black Catholic, that's really, like a oxymoron. Okay, the original Catholics, okay, the founders of the, Roman Catholic Church were so-called Negroes. Okay, their line goes back to the nation of Israel. Okay, because of history, in 70 AD, okay, the Roman armies, 65 AD, that's when it started. Okay, the Roman Jewish wars, so-called Jewish wars. The armies of Rome besieged Jerusalem because there was a revolt, in the province of Judea. Okay, in 70 AD, the temple of Jerusalem was sacked and destroyed. It was razed. Okay, they took all the the relics that were in the temple. They carried those off, and they also took captive citizens of the kingdom of Judah. Okay, so-called Negroes, which come from the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi predominantly. Okay, you did have other tribes that were there as well. Okay, but these individuals were taken into slavery. Okay, they were taken to Rome, other parts of the Roman Empire, and eventually, as time passed, they rose in the Roman ranks, and eventually they overthrew the Roman Empire. Okay, and in 325 AD, Constantine the Great, which was a so-called black man, an Israelite, he established the Holy Roman Empire. And this is history that they won't tell you about. When you look up Constantine, they're going to show you that he was an Edomite, a so-called white man. Okay. Because Esau, Edom, he wants to push out that he's been ruling the world for, thousands of years, man. Okay. But he fails to tell you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that you also had kingdoms on the earth. Okay. Particularly you so-called Negroes, you ruled Europe. Okay. So this whole Western, culture, okay, that was created by you so-called Negroes during the medieval times. All right. And another thing that shows you that there was different people ruling during those times are the customs are completely different. The style of dress is different. And these people don't really, put the Heavenly Father at the center of their life as it was, during the medieval times. OK, so continuing on this, it says the featured Catholic saint is known as Maurice. He was the ruler of the Roman Theban Legion in the 3rd century AD. He was one of many venerated black saints, which the saints, okay, saints goes back to the scriptures. The word saint means to be holy or to be sanctified. Now, the only people that were sanctified or made holy, okay, by the Creator were the Israelites. Okay, so there's really no such thing as a black saint. The saints are Israelites. Okay, it says he was one of the many venerated saints in early Europe. All right, Saint Maurice remains a central figure of the Roman Catholic Church. Yeah, and these things are being revealed in the last days. This is Jeremiah 16 and 19. It says, O Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, which the Gentiles represent Israelites that have lost their the knowledge of their heritage. And they've come back to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. It says, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies. And we have inherited lies. This devil has not told us the complete truth. Okay, he doesn't tell us, all right, when you go to this man's fool system, he doesn't tell you that your ancestors ruled Europe, you so-called Negroes. Okay, he doesn't tell you that you so-called Latinos, you are related to the so-called Negroes. Okay, that you pretty much had a global empire at one time during the medieval times. Okay, he withholds this knowledge from you. Okay, because if he did tell you these things, what would that do? That would, lead you to you knowing who you are. Okay, because the kings of Europe, they acknowledge themselves as being from the different tribes of Israel, man. Okay, they knew that their lineage went back to the land of Israel. That's the reason why the Crusades was something that took place. Okay, we were trying to get that land back, but according to, the curses that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai put on us, but according to the curses that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai put on us, we weren't supposed to get our land back, or we're not going to get that land back until Yahweh Shai makes his, his return. It says, surely our fathers have inherited lies. And that's what this man has given us. See, you so-called Negroes, you were just in Africa swinging on trees. You're a no people. Okay, you so-called Latinos and Native Americans, you are no people. You're savages. You crossed the Bering Strait. You have no history. Those are all lies, man. Okay, we are the Israelites. All right, we descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's our heritage, man. But this damn devil, he told us something else. It says, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. And there's no profit in, the history that this man teaches us about ourselves. You were swinging on trees. You were savages, leading us further and further astray from who we actually are, which are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. See, and if he would tell you so-called Negroes about this hidden history that you have, you would be more likely to connect the dots and you would be led back to the land of Israel, back to your true heritage, man. Okay. But this history is written in the scriptures. This is Revelation 20:1. It says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, which the bottomless pit represents Europe. The reason why it's considered a bottomless pit is because there's no resources there. Okay, you can dig and dig and dig and you ain't gonna find any resources, man. Okay, it's the reason why those different European powers, you know, when Esau was coming back on the scene, he had to go throughout the four corners of the earth to build Europe up, to take resources from these other nations. It says, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And that chain, you know, what do you do when you put chains on somebody? You put them in slavery. It says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan. Who's the dragon? The dragon represents the Roman Empire. So the Roman Empire was conquered, okay, at one time. All right, the pagan Roman Empire. See, when you read history, Esau will leave this out. He'll just merge the two different Roman empires. He'll say the pagan Roman Empire just suddenly transitioned into the Holy Roman Empire. And those are the same people that were ruling. That's a damn lie, man. Okay, the people that were ruling the Holy Roman Empire, the people that brought so-called Christianity to the world, were you so-called Negroes. Okay, and the reason why Christianity spread throughout Western Europe at that time, okay, and you know other parts of the world, is because you so-called Negroes were ruling those places, man. Okay, see, Christianity is not a religion for everybody. Okay, the true, you know, so-called religion of Christianity, okay, religion for lack of a better term, that belongs to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, because if you get into what, you know, Yahushua was all about when he came on the scene, he was only came for the nation of Israel. Okay, but you know, over time, our people have perverted it just like they pervert everything else. Okay, but the reason why that, you know, religion spread, okay, was because so-called Negroes, all right, who knew they were Israelites, started to accept, you know, the one the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Okay, and you know, Constantine the Great, when he came into power, he perverted, you know, the true worship of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, but the reason why it was so, you know, readily accepted, okay, or why a lot of people bought into that, is because our people knew who they were. Okay, and like the scriptures say, we have a zeal. You know, a lot of our people have a zeal, but not according to knowledge. So they attach themselves unto this thing. Okay, it says he laid hold on the dragon, okay, which the dragon represents the Roman Empire. So the Roman Empire and its inhabitants, okay, the people that established it, Edomites, they were put into slavery. It says that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, which that 1,000-year period represents roughly from 325 AD to 1453. Which this history is hidden, man. Okay, they don't teach you about this when you go to school, and they won't tell you the truth of who was ruling during that time. Okay, back then, all the people looked like, you know, Saint Maurice, man. We ruled Europe for 1,000 years. Esau calls it the Dark Ages. You know, all of a sudden, Europe just went black. There's no history. That's BS, man. I have a book, you know, called Byzantium, which Esau, you know, he calls it the Byzantine Empire, which that's another slap in the face to you so-called Negroes that ruled Europe, because when you look up Byzantine, it means backwards. Okay, and the reason why this man said that it was a backwards kingdom is because Jake was putting the Most High at the forefront, you know, even though Jake was going off, you know, being complete demons, but certain things that were in the scriptures were being applied to everyday life. If a woman was committing adultery, she'd get put to death. You know, that's the reason why Jake instituted something called the chastity belt. Okay, because you would go to war, you would leave your house, and your woman, she would step out on you, man. Okay, so to prevent that, Jake put chastity belts on their women. Okay, because they didn't want their woman committing adultery, man. But see, today in this society, you do that to a woman, Esau say you doing spousal abuse, man. It says, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. So there's 1,000 years worth of history that this man tries to erase, man. Okay, and then the part of that history that he doesn't erase, he'll say he was up there. You know, even if you look this, you know, you look St. Maurice up, you could do a yeah, you'll see St. Maurice, you know, as clearly as a so-called black man, but the people that he's interacting with are so-called white people, which that's not true. Okay, you so-called Negroes, you ruled Europe for 1,000 years, and that's the 1,000-year period that it's talking about here in the scriptures. Okay, because when you go into this, you go into, you know, the history or in the prophecies that Yahweh Shem Yahushua laid out concerning these different heathen kingdoms that will come on the scene. There's a gap. Okay, so you have the Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire comes on the scene. Then you have you know, the Greeks, and then the Romans. Okay, and then, you know, dealing specifically with the you know, the image that or the image of Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, that statue that he's seen. You have the Roman Empire, and then you have the 10 toes. In between the Roman Empire and the 10 toes, there's another kingdom, okay, that reigned over the earth. The reason why the Most High does not, you know, count that kingdom among the images is because it was not ruled by the heathen. Okay, the Most High doesn't consider the nation of Israel a beast, and we were the ones ruling during that time period. Not only did we have control over Europe and, you know, the west coast of Africa, the Northern Kingdom was also over here, and they had kingdoms set up, you know, and we were interacting with each other, man. That's why the Vikings, you know, they came over here, okay, and this was for, you know, pretty much 1,000-year period. All right. And this is deep history, man. You know, this man, he doesn't tell you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans about this. All right. Well, he'll start your, you know, your history starts with you getting off a slave ship, okay, at one of these slave ports, and then going through slave condition and being sold. Verse 7, it says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And what did he do when he came out? Okay, when he came out of slavery, he deceived the nations. He led them away from the right path. Okay, and one of the first things that he did, he had to try to cover up the history that we ruled Europe, and we had him in subjection, man. Okay, because he had a plan. All right, I'm gonna conquer the world, but I can't have these people knowing who they are, man. So he had to try to wipe that history, but it's coming out. Okay, there's nothing that this man can do to stop it. All right, he is not the one that gave Christianity to the world. That's a religion that was created by you so-called Negroes, man. All right, which is loosely based upon the scriptures because that's your book. All right. I just want to go into that. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai willing. It was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruach Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone. Shalom.